Hi there, it's Maria Malec again, taking Healthy Back, tour across America. If you caught my last interview with DePaul Foxworth, you're going to be excited to meet his wife, Katelyn Foxworth, who's also a serial entrepreneur and a personal development coach, which is really exciting to me. So welcome.
Thank you for having me.
This is really great. These guys are so amazing. I am excited to see this younger generation coming up and really helping in the effort of taking Healthy Back. So Katelyn, what is your idea of success and how does health play into that?
Oh, that's so good. My idea of success deals with impact and how many people can you impact every single day and ultimately throughout your entire life. So to live a long life, we have to be the healthiest versions of ourselves every single day, especially if we want the energy to pour into our families and then your everyday person that we meet out on the streets.
Wow. Simple, yet very impactful. I really love that answer.
Oh, thank you.
So Katelyn, what are your 3 to 5 non-negotiables to sustaining wellness for you and your family?
My 3 non-negotiables would have to be, number 1, controlling my environment. So me, my husband, my children, they are going to grow up in the environment and the household that I set for them. So a few months ago we were living in Louisiana and I was not a fan of just the culture, the eating habits there. So I made a decision and I felt like God put it on my heart to move to Florida, and I'm so happy we did because this environment has so many fresh fruits and vegetables readily available. It's a totally different culture that my kids are exposed to, and we are in control of the environment that we set around here. So if that's cooking more fruits and vegetables in our diet at home, I can do that, versus all the fast food that's readily available and advertised in South Louisiana.
Okay.
Number 2, my other non-negotiable would be controlling not only the foods that we take in as a household, but the energy, the music, the entertainment that we take in. So I know there's some moms out there that don't let their kids use screen time or televisions or tablets, and I understand that. But I also understand the other side of that. We live in an information age. So I try to have my kids find balance with that. So in the mornings, they wake up and we watch TV together, but we're watching worship music, Jesus music for children, telling them they are light. Like that's how they're going to start their day, with light and love and joy and peace.
That.
So that's another way where I just set the tone for me and my family and things that we're taking in. And then my 3rd non-negotiable would have to be giving myself self-care and self-love, because I carry the weight of my family. So if I don't take care of me and give myself good things, then I can't take care of the other people that I love and serve every single day.
That is amazing. Now, you would not believe that she and I are 30 years apart. So we really did grow up in completely different eras, and I'm super impressed with your mindset and the care and thought that you're putting into your wellness.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, and I really believe that this is the kind of mindset that we need to take Healthy Back.
Absolutely, and I'm happy you talked about the generational differences, because I experienced that with my parents, and they grew up in a totally different age. So medicine back then was different than what it is now, would you say?
Yeah. Please, don't even get me started on the pharmaceutical industry. But yeah, everything is different. And I believe that everything that we can find in nature is what's going to support our bodies, because that's how we were created.
Absolutely.
For nature, not chemical cocktails and synthetic things that our body doesn't know how to process. So that is really incredible to me, and kudos and my hat off to you. Are there any non-negotiable foods or supplements that you have in your life?
It kind of ties back into what you were just talking about. Just how pharmaceuticals are very different in today's world than they were then. So there were things that my mom did with me as a child growing up, and she did it because the doctor said to do it. So now that I'm having kids, a lot of parents just expect their children to do the same thing, where I had to pray a lot whenever I first entered motherhood. Like, God, what do you want for me and my child? Because it could be different than the path that my grandparents and my mom took, and I'm okay with that. So
Right.
that was a non-negotiable for me, was to say, look, if God said that my children's body has everything that they need and they don't need any additives, especially right at birth, then let me see my child develop without giving them anything and see all that nature and God can do without adding, you know, anything else for what doctors say. And we go to the doctors whenever we need to, and we take, you know, doctors' advice, but I'm always listening to my body, my children's bodies, and nature and God more than I'm listening to anything or anyone around me.
Yeah, and I think that's important. And your husband said the same thing.
Oh, wow.
You gotta listen to your body and trust what it tells you.
Yeah. I experienced that with delivering my first son. I wanted to have him natural because, hey, the ladies back in the day did it, so why can't my body?
Right.
But a lot of people around me were worried, so I did it in the hospital setting just to be safe. And I managed. No epidural, delivered my son. But the second baby I had, I said, we're taking this bad boy home, doing a home birth. So that was like 100% listening to my body, and it was the most spiritual experience. My husband says the same thing. So that's like a huge example of how your body knows what to do, whether it's in sickness, delivering a baby, or just different moments of your life. If you just listen to your body, it's going to tell you so much.
My gosh. You're ahead of your time. I really believe that. Or maybe you're just an old soul.
Yeah, maybe so.
And finally, Katelyn, you have a story, a healing journey story, and it correlates to becoming a vegan and how that affected your health. And are you still vegan now? And why did you choose to do that?
I'd be happy to share that with you. So my father died of a heart attack whenever he was 38, and his dad died at the age of 39. I was 9 years old whenever he died, and I was in the bed with him sleeping, and he never woke up. He had a heart attack. So after that traumatic experience in childhood, I watched my family go through just these different health issues, high blood pressure, high cholesterol at such an early age, and I was an obese kid. So here I am, chunky bunky, like thinking I'm growing up to do the same thing. And it was in college, I was like, you know what, maybe I don't have to be big bone and be obese just like I've seen everybody else around me. So how could I change that? So first I went vegetarian, and whenever I cut out meat, the pounds started to drop so quick that it excited me. So then I read a book, and it was just about veganism. So I was like, let me just cut out all animal products and see what that does. And I really fell in love with the vegan lifestyle for environmental reasons, health reasons, animals, all of that. So I was vegan for a while. I loved the entire life. There are so many recipes out there that are vegan recipes, and the vegan diet did so much for my body. I felt like I was my most vibrant, vital, like that's how when I got pregnant. But then after getting pregnant, I tried to remain vegan, but you know, you need a little bit of protein when you're pregnant. And then whenever I was breastfeeding, the greens affected my infant. But I still incorporated so many things from that vegan diet that I practiced for so long. That's why I wrote the book, I Killed My Father's Killer, How What You're Eating Can Be Killing You Too.
Wow.
Because it was my vegan journey that showed me the foods that we're putting in our body. That's determining the pounds that we see on the scale. That's determining why we're going to the doctor so much and other health issues that we're having. So I definitely recommend the book, I Killed My Father's Killer, How What You're Eating Can Be Killing You Too, because there's a personal journal in there. So whenever I coach my clients, they have that journal where they break generational curses and stop eating certain things, and then they go back and they're like, wow, 2 years ago I was dealing with this. Let me re-jump or kickstart my health again and start eating more fruits and vegetables just to continue to level up in their health as they get older.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. And the fact that you had so many people close to you die at an early age, that really does have a serious effect on your psyche.
Yeah, we can choose to be victims of the situation and just look
Sure.
at the bad side. Like our coach always tells us, there's two sides to everything. You never see a
Right.
one-sided piece of paper. You never see a one-sided pancake. So growing up, I always looked at the bad side of that.
Right.
And then he died on Halloween. So I'm like, oh, it's this terrible holiday, or my dad died, and I was always focused on the bad. And then as I got older, I was like, you know what? Let's start to focus on the good side of that, and how many lives can we change? Like, how many other fathers can live longer lives based off of my experience? So that's when I wrote the book.
Wow. I do want to say, though, even though there are certain foods that put on weight, I think that it's more the processed foods, the chemicals in foods, and again, if you stick to nature,
Mm-hmm.
things that are in nature are what our body understands.
For
It's
sure.
like, do you put Apple information in a PC? No, it's not going to run.
Yeah,
So make sure your food is what? Alive,
absolutely.
no preservatives. Eat things that spoil. That's what someone told me recently.
Yes, whenever I do my grocery shopping, I go to the produce section first, and I like to get 50 to 75% of my groceries straight from the produce section. That way, whenever I'm getting in the aisles where all the processed stuff is, I'm limited for what I need in there. And if you think about it, Oreos are vegan, but do I want all Oreos?
Right.
No, I want to eat,
That's
like
a
you
good
said,
point.
natural foods.
Well, that's awesome. I really appreciate your insight. And for me, your youth is
Aw.
encouraging, because with people like you in leadership, you are going to be impacting a lot of lives.
Wow.
So if someone would love to work with you as a personal coach, or for all the wonderful things that you have to share, how can they get in contact with you?
If you saw the episode before, and if you didn't, you need to check it out. My husband is D Fox Money, so I'm K Fox Money. You can find me on Instagram at K Fox Money. You can find me on TikTok with that same handle, K Fox Money. Or if you want our podcast, it's the I Killed My Own Killer book series and podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
Wow, I just love the title of that. That makes me want to read it just for the title.
Oh, thank you. As a personal development coach, we hit on everything. Finances, health and wellness, your mental health, and your spiritual health. So we kill those killers every single day to continue to be better versions of ourselves.
That's awesome. You really need to check her out. Thanks for watching this episode. Stay tuned for more of Taking Healthy Back across America.
Woohoo!
See ya.